Welcome to Thrive Radio. I'm your host, Amy Montgomery, entrepreneur and digital marketing agency owner. Today, my guest is Divya Dhawan, and she is a health coach who helps people with autoimmune disorders get their life back with holistic, sustainable lifestyle challenges. Divya, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Amy, for having me.
Yeah. So, how did you become a health coach? What's your journey in that?
There are many health coaches out there, and they also have the same story as me that I actually went through this syndrome myself, which is Sjogren syndrome. I was diagnosed with this syndrome almost about 8 years ago now. And I was helpless at that point when I was diagnosed. The only answers that I got from my doctors was that I have to live with it and there's absolutely no cure for it. And the only thing that I can do is to manage my symptoms by taking certain medications, but I can only manage my symptoms. I just cannot cure it. And I was heartbroken at that point because the diagnosis was kind of like a relief, because it took about a few months for me to get diagnosed, to find a doctor who could take me in a month, because most rheumatologists do not have appointments for less than 6 months. So the waiting is about 6 months to get in with the rheumatologist. And then when I was able to finally get an answer from the rheumatologist, I was absolutely heartbroken because I did not see an end to this road, because it was like I have to keep walking it throughout my life and I have to keep taking these medications. And of course, these medications have side effects, so deal with them. And so it was like an endless road for me, which I saw at that point. And quickly, before going into the other details about how I came over all this, I just want to explain to all your listeners who don't know what Sjogren syndrome is, because not many people know what Sjogren syndrome is. So Sjogren syndrome is an autoimmune disorder in which all the wet glands in the body, like the eyes, the nose, the mouth, start getting dry. So all the glands kind of start, drying up and not producing that lubrication that they produce. And there are digestive symptoms associated with it. There are symptoms like joint pains, lupus, fibromyalgia. All those things are also associated and sometimes overlapping with Sjogren's. And I've seen that with many of my clients. So that is what Sjogren syndrome is. And what I had was severe dry eyes, dry mouth, and really, really bad joint pains, as well as muscle aches and stiffness in my body. And I was completely debilitated at that point when I was diagnosed about 8 years ago. I had absolutely, as I said, no answers, because even when I was diagnosed, the only answer I got was that there's no cure for it. I was put on this medication called Plaquenil, which is kind of like gotten popular in the last 2 years because of COVID. But yes, that is the medication I was put on. And when I went online and saw the side effects, I was devastated, because people can have like poisoning in the eyes, because of which the eyes, you can kind of people can also go blind because of that. So that is one of the side effects. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And I think I had my inner voice tell me that I need to find my own path. And I started doing that. I did a lot of research, found a lot of natural supplements, which are, by the way, studied by many scientists, and there are many studies on them. So I, of course, did all that research, started doing a lot of supplements, a lot of mind-body work, a lot of lifestyle changes also. And I was able to actually get off medication in about a year of my diagnosis, and also not have any symptoms. And I can actually proudly say that, yes, I am in remission since then.
Wow, that's amazing. So walking through your journey, what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for so many things, but what I'm grateful for really is the inner guidance that I get, that helps me, that inner voice that is soft and calm, and it's kind of just repeating itself and telling me to do what I need to do, and guiding me through it. That has been really something that I've been grateful for. Also, the knowledge that I have gained in this time, which is actually the knowledge that my body can heal myself. So my body is a self-healing machinery, and all I need to do is to give and provide the right circumstances, the right conditions, that's the right word, for it to heal, and it will heal itself. Because before that, I was like, what medication do I need to take? What doctor do I need to go to? All those kind of things are always boggling me. But now I know that my body can heal itself, provided I provided the conditions that it needs to heal. So those are the two things I'm really, really grateful for in this journey.
So, what are some of the best types of foods to eat if you're dealing with it? What foods, I guess, that you should avoid as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Food is medicine, as Hippocrates said many years ago. And I come from a background of Ayurveda. I'm not a certified Ayurvedic practitioner, but I have deep interest in Ayurveda. So I know that the founder of Ayurveda also said that food is medicine, and anything wrong in the gut, that's where all the food is digested, right? So anything wrong in the gut will actually cause all sorts of diseases in the body. And I think modern science is coming to that finding now, to understand that yes, gut is the starting point of all diseases, because of microbiome, how the microbiome can be affected with the food that we eat. So coming back to a question that you asked, that what kind of foods should be avoided. So there are foods, especially in our modern society, which are very, very inflammatory. So those should be avoided, which are sugar. White sugar is poison, white salt is poison for the body. Also white flour, and of course a combination of white sugar and white salt and white flour, and then also unhealthy fats like canola oil. When the food is made in that way, your body cannot digest it, and so it causes a lot of inflammation in the body. And for example, pizzas, even the fast food, burgers, all those have white flour in it, and all those can cause the body to go into an inflammatory state. And that's the starting point of any autoimmune disorder, actually. So those are the foods you will want to avoid. Now, some people have food sensitivities, which can only be found by testing or by elimination method, and that's something that is very individual and it is different for everyone. But in general, these are the foods that should be avoided. If someone has a compromised gut, then excessive meat products will also, animal foods basically, will also cause increase in the inflammation. Not saying that all meat and all animal based products are bad. I'm not a advocate of just eliminating everything, but when you have inflammation, you want to see that you keep it to the minimum.
So, are
And
there
then,
like specific supplements that are good to take as well?
there are many. It depends, and again, it is very personal. Sjogren's disorder itself has such an array of symptoms. So some people have more dry eyes, some people have more dry mouth, some people have like more joint pain, some people have more hives, skin conditions, along with a little bit of other symptoms. So it's really personal, but in general, taking good quality probiotics which will replenish the microbiome, because the microbiome is responsible for 95% of our immunity, as well as 95% of the hormones that are produced inside our body, and almost all the functions that the body has is supported by the microbiome. So really having a good quality probiotic is a good first step. And as far as inflammation is concerned, the best thing is to start with food, to eliminate all food that causes inflammation, and that will automatically help the body to heal itself.
I love that. So, you also help people dealing with handling the stress and the emotions. What are some ways that you help people, and why is that important?
Stress is the number one cause of autoimmune disorders. And I'm sure many of your listeners might have also, whenever they go to the doctor, the doctor might have told them this is stress related. So the connection is not known exactly how this happens, but on a very broad, speaking very generally and broadly, what happens is when your body is under stress, when your mind is under stress, your body also comes in stress. And then there are two parts of the central nervous system. One is the parasympathetic nervous system, and one is the sympathetic nervous system mode. And so for listeners who are not aware of this, sympathetic nervous system mode is when, for example, you're running for your life. The kind of responses that you have, there's a spike in blood sugar, there is, your heartbeat is going faster so that it can supply the blood to all parts of your body, so that you can think fast. And that is good in that moment when you really need it, that's good. But what happens is when you are always in stress, you remain in that, your body and your mind remain in that mode forever. And then that mode is not when the body, so when you are in that, when your body is in that mode, what signal goes to all your body parts is that repair is not important, healing is not important, restoring is not important. What is important is to give you spikes of blood sugar in the blood, spikes of energy in your body. Cortisol is increased, and that is why sleeplessness also happens when you have chronic stress, which keeps happening day after day, week after week, month after month. And so that is not where you want to be. Where you want to be is in the parasympathetic nervous system mode, which is the mode in which you are calm, and you'll know that I'm calm, and your body will know that now this is the time for me to heal, to kind of do all the repair work, to restore. And sleeping is one of those modes, but that is affected also by being constantly in the sympathetic nervous system mode. So if you're constantly stressed, you cannot sleep. So yeah, you want to be in parasympathetic nervous system mode so that you can heal, and you can give the signal to your body that okay, everything is fine, I'm safe, I'm protected, and now I want to heal. So that is kind of the body's language of understanding that it needs to heal. And that is how the stress affects the body, because when you're constantly in stress and in the sympathetic nervous system mode, healing your body is not a priority, and then even the immune system is on an overdrive and it starts attacking itself.
I love that description. I'm not sure if I told you that I used to have CPTSD, and I was able to reverse that and recondition my brain. But I was in that permanent state of fight or flight for 46 plus years. So I had to kind of go through that process. I think it's great that you actually walk people through that, because I had to go through that process and kind of try and figure it out myself, Googling different doctors. And I finally found a really good doctor, but different good supplements that help with anxiety and help your brain so that you get out of that mode. And there's so much that goes with it. It's that mind and body that you've got to be in tune with. I think that's amazing, because that's it's like the quick way to get the solutions instead of struggling for years and not knowing why your health isn't improving. And that definitely, I went down that for quite a long time.
And it's very unsettling when you're in that state of mind, right?
And not only did I haven't eaten sugar for over 5 years now, sugar or carbs, just for that reason. And I still have some issues with my stomach, because I was so severe that right now my doctor's not sure if I'll ever be able to maintain the probiotics naturally in my stomach just by eating. It may just be something that I'm going to have to eat tons of sauerkraut a couple of times a day. So that's still a journey, but there's definitely ways to fast track that. So can you share some of your client success stories with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of my clients, her name is Preeti, and she actually, when she came to me, she had severe joint pains and mental brain fog. So I was going to say mental, but it's the right term is brain fog. She was, and I could make it out. She was in extreme stress also because of the autoimmune that started inside of her, and she was perfectly fine like a few months ago, and then suddenly this flare up started. She did not have a lot of dryness again in the mouth and eyes, but then she went through the program with me, and we worked together. We worked on her emotional intelligence, on her food, on supplements, on also yoga and stuff like that, because yoga is a mind body practice. It helps to bring you back in the parasympathetic nervous system mode, the same mode I talked about earlier. And so after she was finished with the program, she was so thankful, because she had absolutely no brain fog, and her joint pains were like almost gone, to the point that she had no pains at all. Here and there sometimes she used to have it, but then she knew how to manage them. And it was a life-changing experience for me as well, because it's so great to see someone to be able to heal and to be able to help someone to heal. It's such a great experience. And she literally just said to me that I've kind of found myself back. Those were the life-changing kind of they really moved me a lot when she said that not only have I healed myself, I've also found myself back. So that was kind of like the aha moment for her and me, that those are the things that make me get up every day and all right, we got this kind of thing. So do the work that I'm doing. And I had another client who also had dry eyes, dry mouth, again the typical symptoms of Sjogren's. Her name is Krizia, and she came to me. She just did not know what to do about it. She did talk to her doctors about changing something in her food, but she did not get any support from there in that manner. And so she wanted to get relief from her, and she also had joint pains, so she wanted relief from her dry eyes, dry mouth, and her joint pains as well. And we went through the program again. We worked on a lot of facets in her life. Getting stressed was one of them for her. She used to get stressed very easily, and Preeti also had the same issue. Stress kind of is a common thread in everyone. It kind of just slowly creeps in before we know it. So yeah, and she was able to, after the end of almost when we ended the program, she was like, thank you so much. And she had found relief from her dry eyes and mouth. They were not as dry, much better, and she knew how to, even if she did get ever, she knew how to work through them. She did not have any joint pains by that point, and she just knew how to maintain this lifestyle so that she can actually be Sjogren's free. It really made me happy.
Love that.
Yeah, these are just two of my clients' wins. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that you're providing those solutions, because it is hard. I've talked to so many that, and like myself, and I don't know if you experience this, when you go to like just the regular doctor, they're not really versed in things that relate to emotions and the trauma that you go through that cause the stress, and that these things happen. And then also just really understanding things like your gut health and all of that. And so you go in there and you have, I don't know, like I had systemic candida. I had a
Mm.
doctor that was like, just eat some blueberries.
Mm.
And I had lost 90% of my hearing.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I was just full of the candida, and I didn't know why I had it at the time. He's like, just eat some blueberries. And I had to take
You
matters
must
in
have
my own
done an
hand.
extensive candida cleanse then.
Yeah, for years. It took me years to go through
Mm-hmm.
it. And I started first by myself, just doing the online candida cleanse, and realizing after a short period of time that wasn't good enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
I needed the help of a doctor. And so, yeah, I ended up finding a doctor that specializes in Eastern medicine.
Mm.
And he has been amazing, and was able to bring me through, a total process of healing and testing my stomach, and finally got me through the point where my stomach was healed and all of that. So yeah, and so I go in and get tested every once in a while, but I had all kinds of parasites in me, and a lot of people don't realize that everyone's got those, and you've got to cleanse, and if you
Yeah.
don't, that'll eat up all your vitamin B and all the probiotics you're trying to put in your system. And that
Yeah, I
definitely
think
was happening to me. So
that is why I think about 150 years before now ago, they used to have those regular cleanses and deworming schedules in there. And also because everyone was living in the ranches. But then that doesn't change a lot for us because we still get the parasites, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and
definitely.
yeah, I think there was a lot of wisdom in that, in those practices, which we've kind of forgotten and we need to get back to.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, "Oh, you haven't eaten sugar and the carbs," and but the benefits are I don't get cravings for stuff,
Hmm.
and I feel better, and I can think. And sugar, I actually think it made me a lot younger, look a lot younger too.
Giving
Um,
up the sugar.
yeah, getting me up the sugar. And I don't drink
Yeah.
alcohol either, but I look a lot younger than I used to. And a big part of that, I mean, I'm about to turn 50, and
You don't look 50, come on.
yeah, and I think that just the change in my diet dramatically transformed my skin.
Absolutely. Sugar is a culprit in so many ways. It reduces your immunity, it eats up your microbiome, ages you faster, right?
Yeah.
And also causes inflammation. I mean, it is just horrifying
Yeah,
how much sugar can do,
it's not
how
good.
much bad
Yeah.
it can do. Yeah.
What do
Yeah.
you think has been your truth that has gotten you this far in your journey in helping people?
My truth has been that I have healed myself, and so I really want to spread that light of healing because not many people, and there are many women on a daily basis who come to me and they're like, are you sure I can heal? Because I've had this for so many years, and my doctor said I cannot cure this. And are you sure this can heal? And I'm like, yeah, you can, because I have done this for myself and for my clients. And healing is our body's natural state, right? It's our body's natural state. Things that are not right in the kind of life that we live in our modern times, that it just disrupts that natural state of healing. But then we are also not told by the system in general that we can heal. and then that our body can heal. We just are given like short-term solutions, like take this medication, take that pill, take this, take that. We are always in that vicious wheel of going, starting at the same point and ending at the same point by doing the same things over and over again. And that's my truth, that we can heal our bodies, we can help our bodies to heal, because that is what the natural state of our bodies are.
If there's
Thank
somebody
you.
that's listening and they think that they might deal with Sjogren's, what would you say to them?
Well, that's exactly my message to them. That the first thing that they need to do is to believe that they can heal, and that does not. I know it's not easy, because the culture does not teach us, the system doesn't teach us, nothing tells us that we can heal ourselves. But that is the first and foremost thing. And then, yeah, if they think they need any help in healing anything, they can always connect with me through the different channels. I am on almost all social media channels. And believe in yourself, look at your food, look at your lifestyle. Stress is very important to eliminate. And if you can, and if there's one thing that they can take away, is this, that look at your food, look at your lifestyle, eliminate all the stress, because all that stress is eating up your body. And make healthier food choices, eat seasonal, eat fresh. And all that is really going to help your body. Every baby step matters, and every baby step will take you one step further in healing.
I love that. Thank you so much for Divya for coming on and sharing your expertise today.
Thank you so much for having me, Amy. I love talking to you. Thank you so much.
Yes, and if you're listening, you can look in the show notes for all of the links to contact Divya. And if you want more information about this podcast and upcoming shows, you can visit acalltothrive.com. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful week.